Hi, welcome to the American Woodshop. I'm Scott Phillips, and today we're going to make this beautiful arts and craft rift cut oak stand together. This is a mock-up. Don't go anywhere. We'll build this together.
The American Woodshop with Scott Phillips is brought to you by...
Since 1928, Woodcraft has been providing traditional and modern woodworking tools and supplies to generations of craftsmen. Woodcraft, helping you make wood work.
Pro Tools for tool pros. Rikon Tools.
Woodcraft Magazine. Projects, plans, and web links designed to help you make wood work. P.S. Wood, home of Timberwolf Swedish silicon steel bandsaw blades and super sharp scroll saw blades. A bed to sleep on. A table to share meals. A house that feels like a home. The Furniture Bank of Central Ohio, providing furniture to neighbors in need.
Sometimes in life, the best way to understand something is to take it apart. And that's what we're about to do. This is a mock-up of an arts and craft inspired stand, quarter sawn white oak right here. And all the white oak I sourced earlier, and I bought it surfaced two sides on the whiter flat sides. And that's a great visit. Let's go over to see a planer that anyone would die for.
Hey, we're back with Tom at Hartzell Hardwood. Now describe this.
This is a Newman Whitney planer. The process here is it surfaces both sides of the board a 32nd of an inch. It allows us to grade the lumber one more time, see it a little better, and eliminate one step of the process for our customers.
You know how much time that saves with the job?
Yes.
And the setup here, the way it's stacked in and fed in, I find that from the time it hits all the way around, it takes 2 minutes to go through the planer.
Yes.
How much wood do you process here in a day?
Approximately 50 to 60,000 board feet a day.
And that's grading it here too.
That's grading it, running it, grading it, surfacing it, packaging it ready for shipment. About 60,000 feet a day, approximately.
And look at this, always innovators. They have these stickers now. So instead of a flat sticker, these stickers leave no sticker stain. Remarkable.
Yes, very
Keep
good.
it coming, man. I love their lumber, it's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Man, what a planer. And they have it going on over there at Hartzell's. I'm proud that they're part of my heritage. I used to work there years ago. It's where I grew up. Anyhow, we're using quarter sawn oak, rift cut, and I want to wipe this down with some water just to make that rift grain pop. And this was really something that you saw on arts and crafts furniture a lot, this effect. So we need to cut some oak pieces out that will give that to us. White oak gives you more pronounced ray fleck. Those are rays. Those are like channels that breathe from the core of the tree to the bark to let it expand and contract. And it's pronounced in oak. Now to make this stand, let me take this apart. Granite top so that you can see the assembly right here. This is very simple. I have a total of 12 pieces in this. It hasn't been pegged yet. That's the final step after we finish it. But what I'd like to do is take this apart so that you can see what I consider to be the strongest joint in woodworking, which is the through mortise tenon joint. Now, these tenons are cut out at the bandsaw, and these mortises are cut using a domino cutter. You'll see how that's laid out later, but the first step in all of this to make all of this happen is the layout. This is 8 inches up from the bottom with this cross X that's tenon through, and this is notched together, and I don't think, as tight as this is, I can get that. There we go, it's coming apart so you can see how all this, there we go, locks in. And out of oak, this is going to last forever. So that's notched at the bandsaw as well. But it all starts over at the jointer to joint two square edges. Let's head there. Okay, now let me turn everything off, and let me show you something. Now, by using a joiner, I've squared up this edge to that edge so that now I can take this to a table saw and mill pieces that are square to each other. All edges are square. Without doing this, as you can tell, if you look at that end, that's not square. So that's what the jointer does for us. And whatever you do, be sure to read, understand, and follow all the instructions that come with the tools and products you use in your wood shop. Work safely, safety glasses, hearing protection, and then you're in business. Follow those manuals and use your guards. Now, outside to mill these parts. Have I told you how much I love working outside? And so that's why I built this outdoor wood shop here. And through a lifetime of woodworking, I have enough tools to stock it too. Now this is white oak. Not a whole lot of stuff tougher than white oak. Here's that ray fleck, and that's going up against the fence because I have it set up to rip the legs down right now. And before I do that, I need to make sure that I have the way that I can guide that workpiece through. And this push block type of tool won't fit, so I have to use this piece of wood on edge up against the fence carefully, thoughtfully, to make these cuts. So I'll just rip this down. I'll tell you what, use a good sharp blade, a table saw like this, get all your jobs done for you. Just rip this down. And it's inside to make the joint. Now, turn that off. And always use your guard with the anti-kickback pawls. That way it doesn't have a kickback on you. And that is a great burn-free cut. That's how you make the legs. Now, let's go back inside and make those joints for the mortises and that through-tenon. These are the two identical workpieces you need. And we have two pieces like this where the notch is upside down, but all four legs are mortise. That's this hole, and this is 2.5 inches up from the bottom there. This is 8 inches to the top edge of that. This is upside down. The 8 inches goes to the bottom. And I've transferred these lines onto this workpiece from where these mortises are made. Straight across to this other workpiece. It's dogged in. Let me show you how easy it is to cut it using a domino cutter. See that? Watch this. You lay out this line on those lines. That's secure. Make your cut holding everything square. And that's not 1 7/8 inches, but if I make the other cut up here, watch what happens. So much precision built into this. Now, that from curve to curve is 1 7/8 inches. And that is exactly how I lay out the mortises. Okay. This being an oak, it's tough. Give that cutter a chance. Now, whenever you're cutting mortises like this, there's always a bit of fine tuning where you have to go in and do a file to smooth that out. But that's, again, that's going to be the base. This is the top. The easy way to cut the mortises. Now, we have to make a cross brace, 4 of them, 2 identical with the upcut, 2 identical with the down cut. Let's head to the bandsaw for that. The work piece that I'm cutting out is 16.5 inches point to point, long point to long point. And then these angles are at 12 degrees on the end so that it's graceful when you look at it. This notch is right in the center, the same as the thickness, 7/8 on the cross pieces. So I'll show you how to do all of this, cutting the tenons, but it starts by cutting the angles first, then these 2 long-running cuts to the bottom line, because I'll use a chisel to finish that cut. So turn that on, get that done, and then I'll move the fence up to cut the tenons. Now I'll set this to 0, which will give me the 90-degree cuts relative to this edge. Leaving the line for a nice tight fit. Come all the way down to the bottom. Okay, once you have the side cuts made for that center notch, I can use a chisel to pop that right out. And I want you to see this end. I've made 2 cuts here that define the square shoulder of the tenon. Here's a block of wood clamped in place to the fence. This fence gives me the length of the tenon. Now watch, this is not a through cut. Go until that stops, roll it over, make sure this end's against the fence. That makes the shoulder square, go until it stops. Now, we have the square shoulder of the tenon and the length of the tenon cut. I'll show you how to cut the rest of it out in a second, but let's take the center notch out with the chisel, grain's running this way. And this is a 1/2-inch chisel, and on white oak, you make the first cut, the scoring cut, walk it in that groove, right over to the other side of that shoulder, like so. You do that a little bit harder now, and you walk this down. Now the bevel is towards the notch. The flat edge is straight down to establish a square bottom. And you walk this back and forth, and there you go. That is out of there on white oak. Now, the reason you use white oak for this is it's very strong, and there are no screws or glue in this project. There are some wooden pegs, and the beauty of white oak is that ray figure. Now, I can clean up the rest of that with the chisel, clean up the bottom, and that's how you finish that notch, just like that. You never chisel towards your fingers. You always keep your fingers out of harm's way. Now, come back to the bandsaw. And the reason I'm using this block of wood right here is so it clears this, the fence clears the guide block or guide roller assembly, and I bring it right up to the edge, and it's always good to have one go by to set your depth of cut, like so. Okay, that's good right there and locked in place. And now this roller bearing assembly, and that's clamped tightly in place, is locked in, no longer need the miter gauge. And as long as I keep this workpiece down to the table and against the sacrificial fence or the walnut piece there, watch what happens. Here we go. Try to get that remote working again. Here we go. Give that blade a chance to make its cut. There you go. Okay, roll it over to the other side. And don't be reaching in to get that small scrap. Use your workpiece to drag it out. And that's how you make the through-tenon, left and right. I'll finish this cut over here. So much fun, so easy to do. And you do want to use a good blade. This is the silicone steel blade. All right, now, here you can see a beautiful quarter-sawn oak through-tenon. Now, let's go do some bench work. Now, each and every workpiece, I use the low-angle block plane to just break that sharp edge. And that's all there is to it. And that looks really good right there. And once I have those sharp edges knocked down, and I don't want it done too much, I just want it done so you can feel that edge without getting a splinter. And then these shoulders, you take the right double cut woodworking file and you open up this notch just a little bit. And whatever you do, never use a file like this without a handle. That tine of the rat tail, if you're using it barehanded without a handle, well, it can harpoon you. So be careful with the files. And it's really cutting on the push stroke. You have to learn how to use a file the right way. Now, these 12-degree angles, the proud part is on top. So this piece notches right in. I need to open it up just a bit more. And it's better to have to open it up than to fill it with wood glue or wood filler. That should probably do it. Let's see how that goes right there. That feels about right. Don't want to force it too much, but there we go. That's the fit I'm looking for right there, flush on top. Okay, plate for stout. Now this is the bottom one, this is the top. And I've zoomed ahead so that you can see how all of this is notched together down here, like that. Now, before I can put it together though, you see these shoulders right here need to be worked a bit. And the easy way to do that is to clamp the assembled X brace down to the bench. Then I can use a shoulder plane to clean this up a bit. And this beats sanding. You could sand, but who wants to breathe that sawdust? That looks good right there, like that. And then, once you do that left and right, I can chisel this with a slight curve. This edge gets profiled down. Again, what we do is we join this and watch what I do here to round that tenon so that it fits the round curve of the mortise. It's the handwork in arts and crafts style furniture that really sets it apart from machine-made furniture. And there's nothing wrong with machines. My goodness, I wouldn't be able to make all the things I make without my tools, my power tools. But the handwork is the thing that really makes it shine. So anyways, I'll get this perfected all the way around, then we'll put it all together. That's looking really good. So let's take a close look at the dry fit here. All the joints look nice and tight. No glue ever in this project, because what's going to happen once we get it all finished, we're going to peg these through tenons with walnut dowels. And you'll see more on that in a second. But that's a perfect fit right there. Okay, and now to really bring out the grain in this workpiece, that ray structure, Susie's got the special finish to make it pop. And after she puts that on and that cures, then we top coat it with a special touch. It gives us that nice old look. So let's head out to see what she does with the finishing.
So for this one, I'm using a Danish oil in a beautiful golden oak color, and it's on white oak. And you get this beautiful finish, and you just rub it in with a little all cotton rag, and it just really shines through and shows that beautiful pattern through there. That's just gorgeous. Can't get anything better than that. Make sure you wear your gloves and safety glasses. And once you're finished with the rag, never throw these in the trash can. They can combust, so you always want to hang it outside to dry and then dispose of it. So don't forget that. Wouldn't be good. Woo, look at those rays going through the white oak. It's just gorgeous. That's why you make those cuts.
Check this out. Susie does a great job finishing. Now we can drill the 3/8" diameter holes all the way through, and I'm using a pocket hole bit for one reason. It's 3/8 inch, but watch what that very small point, that pilot point does. It pokes out the other side. So now what I can do is drill from this side, and as woodworkers know, what that does is that prevents tear out. 3/8" dowel rod, and the easy way to round over the ends, just a little bit of sandpaper like that. But anyways, that dowel rod is a perfect fit, and this is called a pegged through tenon then, and I think you'll agree it's a very attractive joint. So another little trick you can do is you can put the dowel in the drill, and with the dust mask on, just do that to size the dowel a little bit more and round over the end. And that's just perfect. So I'll get this all pegged and then get it assembled, and Susie can give us her verdict then. This is the most nervous that I get in the wood shop. What do you think? Is it for the office or is it for our home?
I think I might let it in the house. There you go.
That's the tell right there.
No, I love it.
So it's an arts and craft inspired stand with a granite top, and that's just a spare piece. Very sturdy, no screws, just walnut pegs and through tenons.
Beautiful.
That's what a guy works for right there. We'll work for compliments. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome. Happy to oblige.
Okay. Well, thanks for being with us this week. See you next week.
See ya. I like the granite on there too. That looks really good. What do you think, Pippi? Do you like it?
Since 1928, Woodcraft has been providing traditional and modern woodworking tools and supplies to generations of craftsmen. Woodcraft, helping you make wood work.
Pro Tools. For tool pros. Rikon Tools.
Woodcraft Magazine. Projects, plans, and web links designed to help you make wood work. P.S. Wood, home of Timberwolf Swedish silicon steel bandsaw blades and super sharp scroll saw blades. A bed to sleep on. A table to share meals. A house that feels like a home. The Furniture Bank of Central Ohio, providing furniture to neighbors in need.
For more information about the American Woodshop, you can watch free episodes 24/7 on our website, and you can find us on these social media platforms.